are. Sweet.
Hello.
Hello, this is Deb and a very red Jimmy.
Well, you know.
Mindless self-indulgence. Yeah, you know, he's been blushing all day. It's the New York return that he's made. So, thank you again for speaking with Jersey Beat.
Of course.
We are grateful to you. First and foremost in everyone's mind has got to be the upcoming hiatus at the end of this tour.
Definitely the first and foremost on my mind.
I'm sure it is. You're probably looking forward to it. What made you decide to take the break at this particular moment in time?
It's more of a, it's also, I mean, first off, we're not breaking up. That's number one. Number two, it's a break from touring. Just ate lunch. Number three, it's also a sort of a heads up. Because I think a lot of times when we, you know, people just assume we're going to be out all the time, every year, da da da. And so this is, and a lot of times when I come to people's towns, and the day that I leave the town, they're like, hey, when are you coming to Jersey? I'm like, I just fucking played Jersey. So it's sort of a heads up. It's like, you know, we're not coming back in 6 months. We're not coming back in a year. We might not come back in a couple of years. If I get hit by a train, we may never ever come back. So you never know. So you know, you better get your tickets now or enjoy yourself and let's have a nice fun time.
That's fair enough. Yeah. You and Chantal frequently tour together. She's actually over there. This time being no exception. How is it having your wife on tour with you? Is it comforting? Is it like home? Or do you find yourself getting dressed out in front of your friends?
No, it's fantastic. I mean, that's how we met. So that's what it's like a little anniversary for us every time we do it.
Oh, that's cute. Do you have like a little cake, a little celebration?
No. I mean, it's not actually on our anniversary, but it is like an anniversary because we met on tour, and that's how we met, and we fell in love and got married, and so, you know, anytime I can have her. Plus, she's got such a great act, you know.
She does.
She wasn't such a fantastic frontwoman and not have such a great act, I wouldn't be so apt to be like, hey, I'm just going to put my wife on stage. You know, it's less about it being my wife and more about it being that I happen to have married a very cool person.
You did marry a very cool person. Morning was a great band, and she's doing great by herself. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah.
Whoever's been running your Twitter right now is freaking hilarious.
Oh, yeah, the dead babies and all.
Yeah, that was my favorite thing in the world. Was that you or some other equally talented mindless member?
Equally talented, lovely Bill H.
That's Bill H's humor. Very good.
We have the similar type of humor, but
I think you have to. I don't think you can work together with somebody who is.
I don't think he would be into it if he didn't have that kind of humor.
My boss does not have my sense of humor, and it goes really badly. What made you decide to release an EP of all Fuck Machine remixes? Not that they're not awesome, just why that particular single?
Why not? Why not a song that has fuck in it? I mean, it's so hilarious. I mean, how many remixes? It must be like fuck all over the place. I mean, there must be a billion fucks in that. I mean, all you have to do is just like fuck, you know, like. So much fun. So. That's
really funny you should say that because at one point we had a tally going of how many songs had shut up in them. We're like, oh, this band had to have a shut up song. So yep, exactly. Most of them sounded like that.
Yeah, almost everyone.
Almost everyone. Talk about the video for a minute, which was majorly kick-ass. Whose concept was that?
That was my concept. I'd wanted to do sort of an anime-style cartoon opening, like as if we had a cartoon show. And been kicking the idea around in my head for a while. And then I reached out just on a whim to a company called More Frames, whose work I had seen previously and thought, wow, this is really good. This could probably lend itself to what I'm seeing in my head. And they turned out that they knew who we were, and they were like, oh, we're big fans, we'd love to do it and everything. I'm like, great. So we got together to do it. And then I reached out to this girl, Buddy the Villain, who we've known for a long time, to help me kind of with the character design. So I was like, I want Steve to look like this, and I want Kitty to look like that, and she helped me kind of get it tight, and then we took them and we gave them to More Frames, and I gave them sort of an animatic of how I want the Kitty section to look like this, and Lindsay get burned at the stake, and blah blah blah, and kind of gave it to them all as like a quick animatic, and then they came back and it was perfect. I mean, it looked really great. There was maybe like one correction, like, oh, that should be green instead of red. And then, and then they sent it back to me, and it was done, and it had been synced up to the Fuck Machine, and I was like, I want more cartoon, less video, so I kind of went in, because, I wrote everything, so I have all the separations and everything, so I kind of went in and took away some of the music and put in all the Foley and all the sound effects, so Steve destroys a skull and there's a huge explosion, all that. I just put in all those meticulous things, spent about 2 weeks doing it, so that it was more of a cartoon show opening and less of a music video that's animated, and I think that really, to me, is fun, because I like that idea. I don't really care about a music video as much as I care about a viral video or something that's kind of interesting, you know.
I think it is more interesting. You know, how many times can you stare at people standing there with a guitar?
Well, I mean, like,
right?
if you have the most amazing idea for a 4-minute video, you know, bravo to you if you're going to keep people's attention spans for 4 fucking minutes. But if you don't get someone's attention in the first 30 seconds, they are one click away, and there's a whole row of shit on the side that they can LSB watch. Like, if you like this, you'll probably like that. So it's really about the first 30 seconds, and then what kind of wacky idea do you have, you know, whether it's like the I'm a Crack video we did with Mike Diva, which was a very amazing video, or we've done other, you know, done good stuff with Jonah Vasquez, which, you know, which was really great, and those are all, I like all that because it's all, you know, interesting. It's interesting to me, so it might be interesting to somebody else.
Oh, it's absolutely interesting. Are you going to release the little cell that you drew up?
I don't know if we're going to do that or not. I have to talk to more friends about that. But I definitely want to keep a bunch. I'm a big animation fan. And there's tons of like references to anime that I watch and everything like that, which was really a nice thing about our fans, is that they got all those references like immediately. Like the concepts on everything were, I mean, the comments on the YouTube were just, as soon as it started, it was just like, oh, the Full Metal Alchemist, oh, I see, you know, Sailor Moon, I see this, I see that. And I was like, yes, you do. And he goes,
it's great when you have people that stay with you that long that know what you're doing.
Well, it's also, with our fans, there's a nice thing where if I like something, they probably like it. Like, we're on the same geek tip, you know, if I'm watching anime or I'm playing a certain type of video game or I want to play Minecraft all day, they're going to be like, oh yeah, me too, you know.
Yeah, that's actually really cool to have that. What are you reading right now, by the way? What titles?
What reading? Oh, what, manga?
Yeah.
Or stuff? I'm not reading manga right now. The last things I'm reading is Luna Brothers are one of my favorites. So they did Girls and The Sword, and I think they split up to do 2 separate ones. One of them's doing a thing called Whispers, and the other one's doing a thing called Ada and Aja, I think it's called, which is like a weird sort of cyber robot thing that's super fucking cool. I'm reading that. Anything by Howard Chaykin I love, so I've got some Chaykin stuff. I don't usually pick up a lot of too many mainstream comics, but the last 2 mainstream Marvel titles I picked up was somebody gave me the Hawkeye one, which is fantastic.
I was wanting to read that one.
It's really good. It's like he's like a regular normal dude who like lives in Brooklyn, and it's really cool. And he's got his ward, his like 15-year-old ward, is like a real like bratty bitchy girl who like runs around and just like and they're like running around through like Superstorm Sandy and stuff like that. So it's really cool. And then the other one that was really cool was the new Miss Marvel. With the
is that good?
They took it and they made it a young 13-year-old Muslim girl, and it's kind of cool. I'm a big, like, I like comic books, but I really like when the comic book art and the story are good. Like, I'm not one of those guys where it's like, okay, it's an Alice Ross cover and you open it up and it's like some bullpen dude. I'm like, big fucking deal. I don't give a shit. And I don't necessarily, I won't buy a title just because it's, you know, it's Avengers, yay. You know,
and you won't buy it because of a cover? Like,
I won't necessarily buy it just for a cover or just because it's who it, you know, if it's Wolverine, great. There's a million really good Wolverine stories by Frank Miller or by somebody else, you know, then, you know, I don't have to always get every Wolverine story. But when those things do pop up in Marvel and DC, where they're a little more like about the character, it'll pop up where someone will do like a cool Wolverine story or a cool Avenger story or, you know, a 6-issue this. But at the Miss Marvel thing, it's a really good artist. It's a cool idea. It's an interesting concept to really sort of flip it and make it. First of all, she's a young girl, and second of all, she's a Muslim, which is very, you know, edgy, and they really go into it in a really cool way. And I picked up the first issue, and I really love it. So.
Check it out. You guys actually put out a comic.
Yes, we did. Adventures in Mindless Self-Indulgence.
Yeah.
And it was drawn by this wonderful comic artist, Jess Fink, who does Chester, I think it's Chester 5000. I might be misquoting it, or
sounds
Chester
right?
3000. But she also does she also has a new book out called We Can Fix It, which is this hilarious time travel thing where it's like she'll go back in time and tell her young self to, you know, don't make out with that guy, you gotta make out with this guy, and all this kind of stuff. And hilarious hijinks ensue. And she's, you know, a really great artist and good timing. And she had approached us a long time ago, like, hey, maybe you guys want to do a comic. And then we had decided, like, you know, what would be really cool is if we have all these stories that we tell all the time, like whenever we're on the bus and like maybe somebody comes on or a friend or a family or whatever, and we keep rehashing the same stories, you know, like a bunch of cavemen around a fire. So we're like, wouldn't it be cool if we just gave her a couple of the better stories and
let her run with them?
Yeah, so we did. We came up with the best stories, and she, you know, illustrated it all out, and me and her edited a little bit down. And then we had our little comic book, and it was great. It's really, it's a great...
How cool is that to have?
No, it's fun. Yeah, I want to do another one at some point soon.
You guys should. You should do a panel at Comic-Con, maybe.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. You mentioned that the fans who follow you on Twitter, you actually just spoke about that earlier, have no idea what you're up to, and it makes you insane. I feel the same exact way about, like, interviewees that do what I do, and they don't do their homework. It's annoying as hell.
No.
Like,
you can't even just look at Wikipedia.
Google's your fucking friend.
Yeah, like, you
Seriously.
shouldn't show up to an interview and be like, so who are you and how did you get together?
Oh, I love that one. They'll do sneaky little, identify yourself for the camera.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Go back later and do it. Wikipedia out. Home shows are always nuts for you guys. What's the most special part about playing here? Besides the pizza.
Besides the pizza, well, we get to get home for a minute, and you know, usually have a day off, so that's always good. It's always nice to see. It's cool because when you do play the hometown, I mean, you see this a lot in the U.S., but you always see in the hometown, you'll see people who haven't been to shows in a long time, because we're basically like high school teachers. We've had a very fortunate thing where our fans, they'll start, from when we started back in the late 90s, the demographic was 12 to 18. Like around 12, you're kind of like, I'm getting sick of pop music and Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and Katy Perry. I want something that says a little, fuck, but it has a little more energy to it, and it's still kind of crazy. Hey, this thing's kind of cool. And then they get into mindless self-indulgence. Then around college, they're like, hey man, peace out. I'm going to go listen to Arcade Fire and read Plato and Socrates and grow up and be a little more mature. And then when they hit their, like, 40s, they'll, like, reminisce and be like, oh, I remember we used to go to those punk shows, oh, it was really fun. And those guys will show up again, which is kind of interesting. But we always have had, whether it's 1998, 2002, 2003, it's always, like, a high school class. It's always 12 to 18, 12 to 18, 12. That's, like, the major...
So you keep getting younger fans.
Yeah,
that's
75%
good.
of the crowd. But it is fun, especially when you come back to an old school crowd, to an old school location like New York, is you will get a lot of people coming out of the woodwork being like, man, on their crutches and stuff, like, I remember back in '99, man, or you guys were in the corner and I was right there in the front row, and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of interesting to see, especially now that they're like, I'm a lawyer now, and this is my kid, and I'm like, whoa, holy shit.
I get old.
Yeah, well, because I don't see that. All I see is so every time I jump down, it doesn't matter where I'm in Australia or the UK or America, it's always like some 13-year-old kid or some 14-year-old kid is like, oh man, it's my first show ever. And I'm like,
that's fucking cool as hell.
No, it's very cool. It's a very interesting, cool thing that we've somehow have been able to sort of keep this sort of youthful, cartoony SpongeBob SquarePants act, and it's gotten that kind of a following too, which is it's it reminds and I say this all the time, but it reminds me a lot of Rock and Horror Picture Show.
Oh, that was the story of my life for a few years.
But I'm saying that's what it is. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is always story of your life for a certain amount of time.
And then you go back
and then you go back and later, and if you go to a Rocky Horror, and there's always a Rocky Horror in your town. If you go to it right now, the demographic is there's the people in the audience. It was my first time, and I'm 13, and like, wow, and I love it, and then they get into it. And it's a similar thing. They'll line up of kids outside right now, and they're all wearing makeup and crazy stuff, and there's probably somebody dressed as a fucking, Monsters Inc. or Eeyore or Fireman or who the fuck knows, So that's good to see that when you come back to a hometown show.
Good energy too.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so whose blank set space call is it tonight?
No, it's everybody's.
Everybody.
Yeah, we do the context of it is that what we do is we go out and we're going to play a set with some new songs from the new record that we haven't played in a while. We haven't played ever, like Stalkers and Anonymous and Jack You Up. We're going to bring, there's a couple oldies that we want to bring back all the time that we really like Animal and stuff like that. But then there's 4 places that we leave blank in the set. One is Steve's Choice. One is Kitty's choice, one is my choice, one is Lindsay's choice.
Everybody gets one.
And everybody gets to pick, and it's whatever they want to pick. And if Steve wants to pay, fucking shut me up twice in a row, it's his fucking call. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But and it's been great because it's made every single show on this tour completely unique because, Steve will be like, I want to play Keeping Up with the Kids. And I'll be like, I don't fucking remember Keeping Up with the Kids.
That's what I was going to say. What happens if somebody picks something and nobody remembers?
It's hard. It becomes, but it's fun. I mean, we've always had a kind of cacophony type of set anyway, so it really doesn't matter. It's not like if I jump off the drums, and I'm not always going to land perfectly. Sometimes I'm going to run into Lindsay's bass, and that's what makes the show. Like, I may land perfectly, and people may be like, wow, he's Jackie Chan, and I may slam right into Lindsay and be
would do that.
These guys are fucking like Charlie Chaplin. So you never know what you're going to get, which I like, and I like that kind of spontaneity, as they call it.
Spontaneity is the best.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right, Jimmy. Well, that's all I have today.
Well, that's
anything you want to add? Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, it's great to talk to you again at Jersey Beat.
Great to talk to you guys.
Good questions, and I always love a good question.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
We will definitely see you guys as we keep going through this tour, as we get to the end of it in a couple of weeks.
That's it. You got some plans? You know what you're going to do?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to work on a lot of side project stuff like I did last time. When we had last time we took a hiatus already, but we never did tell you. I'm like I did the Lollipop Chainsaw video game. I want to do more stuff like that, video games of that ilk, and movies and things of that nature.
Lindsay's got her art. You have the left, right?
She has the art. Me and Steve have left, right. And there's going to be other mindless releases. Like if I'm at home and I'm in a studio and I put something together, it's a mindless release. So it's just the touring stuff that I want to take a breather from for a second. But everything else is still moving forward as usual.
Thank you so much.
Well, of course.